So walk on and become the light that guides the way.
You know the best part of a homing missile? It locks onto its target and takes a lot of maneuverability to dodge. You know the worst thing about homing bullets? They're slow and don't take as much maneuverability to dodge. That's my main problem with Cater. Yes, she's got a magicite gun, but magicite bullets hone in on enemies poorly, only able to actually hit enemies when at max charge. She has no melee attacks, so she's only good at an arm's swing away from the attackers, but her cocky personality, incredible range, and different development rank her higher than 8. Also, her story is based on constant deja vu.
So walk on and become the light that guides the way.
I think it's safe to assume that the cutesy young and airhead of the group is my waifu from this game. Sing can be summed up by one quote: if you're gonna hit someone, you might as well hit them super duper hard. And that's her fighting style, slow but heavy. Ironic, since she's the cute one. She also hits really hard when she actually says something smart. Plus, she's just so darn cute!
And if you tell us, it's not really spying anymore.
So walk on and become the light that guides the way.
I don't really care for Nine's voice combined with his personality. If you've played The World Ends With You, you can make comparisons to Beat, a slow-minded gangster with a loud mouth, but his voice it doesn't work for his personality. His playstyle is why he's so high, though. He's the group's Dragoon, and he is arguably the best at short range, and he has some of the great long-range attacks. So, number 5.
So walk on and become the light that guides the way.
King deserves a higher spot than Cater for having a more direct attack form. No, his attacks don't home in on enemies, but they actually move fast enough to hit them. And yeah, he has to reload every now and then, but I just prefer playing as him than Cater when it comes to gunslingers.
So walk on and become the light that guides the way.
If Trey were out at the time of the Green Scorpion's top 10 archers, he would have made a low spot, but he still would have made the list. He might have even taken lead spot with one attack. He has a rain of arrows in one shot and can utilize magic explosives from long range. He can snipe with any bow as well as the TF2 sniper can with a rifle. So, who could beat him and why? He's not very good at close quarters, and he doesn't have much of a story. Let's leave it at that.
So walk on and become the light that guides the way.
Makina Kunagiri. I'll admit, Makina is one of the whiny brat characters from Final Fantasy, always complaining that he's already lost a brother and may eventually lose Rem, which hits her because she's terminally sick, his previous part. But his story, due to the crystal's blessing which takes away memories of the dead, is tragic. Class 0 receives their comm devices from his brother, Izana, and when he finds out, he loses all trust in them because somebody said it was entirely their fault that Izana is dead. But in the ending, I unlocked, he apologized to them, trying to get them to wake up. Plus, while he might have saved all of Orient's after the crystals went dark, so redeemed. Counter conflict. Here's 2 drill line adapters, so he's close critical. These must operate to Rem and was also the other attacks that make up for his lack of range. Remember how I said Makina's brother Izana was killed by Class 0? Or, more appropriately, Class 0 was responsible for Izana's death? Well, there's one member that was more directly responsible than any of the others, and because of the complexity of this story and his awesome abilities in combat, he's number 1. Ladies and gentlemen, Ace. Okay, let me explain why he's the only one who deserves to take responsibility for Izana's death. Just before you start playing the game, you watch the last few minutes of Izana's life. Just before he and his chocobo Chichiri are gunned down by Militesi forces, Ace, Queen, and 9 come to the rescue, but it's too late as Izana is mortally wounded. When Ace tries to save Izana, for reasons I'll go into in a bit, Queen informs him it's too late, and Izana and his memory die with the crystal's blessing. Later, Ace listens in on Dr. Alracia and the Commandant discussing Izana's death, and Ace learns that he requested Izana for the mission, and pieces together that Machina was related to him. Have Ace take a nap on the bench near the cemetery, and you get flashbacks to when Izana and Ace knew each other, and discuss the bond between siblings. In the second flashback, Ace asks Izana to come with him for the liberation of Academia, because Izana and Machina weren't getting along too well. Notice I haven't even touched his attack form. Ace, of all the 12 to originally be in Class 0, is the only one who uses cards. Ironic since they were all named after a playing card number, for those who didn't notice. He can throw 5 cards at any time at an opponent and use them to form an attack ring around himself, and hit an opponent from anywhere on the field for his normal attack, as long as they aren't behind cover. I never changed his magic abilities, so I can't say much for those, but many of his attacks depend on luck of the draw and lasers. For his fun gameplay, deep and interesting story, I name Ace my favorite character in Type 0. I'm the Gaming Knight, and there's my flame shield.
その名前を終わりまであなたといたいそれ以外確かな思いがないここで